Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel. My name is Don from the YouTube channel The Bitter Hiker, and today I am just going to recap or recount an episode I had with some friends of mine. We had just done a drive up Old Bucktown Road in Suchess, Georgia. It's a very rugged off-road course. It's not very technical, but for the most part I would describe this road as very bumpy. There were a lot of standing water on the road, nothing too technical, but it's just good if you have a truck that is, it has some ground clearance, it has some 4x4 capabilities, and you want to go and have some fun with your friends. You can go up there and you drive it up. You're not going to be doing any rock crawling or anything, but for the most part, it is a 2-mile very bumpy, very rugged road in the North Georgia mountains. I love it. Now as you get to the top of the road, it gets bumpier and bumpier, and then it actually ends at a turnaround where you can turn around and go back down the other way, or you can continue on to the other side, which is another road called Nimblewell, I believe it's called. And that road is very easy. It's not very bumpy. It's more like a Forest Service road with gravel, etc. So my friends and I, we were driving back home and we were going down on Nimblewell. So I was just driving along. I was listening to my music. I was just checking out the scenery. I know my buddy was in the back in his Mercedes ML230 SUV. So we were just driving and just taking in the scenery for the most part. I wasn't really paying much attention to what was going on behind me. I was just looking forward. The ground, even though it was very smooth and graveled, it was a gravel road, and if someone pulled out in front of you, you want to have enough reaction time to stop. I did not see that my buddy had stopped, so I just kept going. I was listening to the music, but now looking back on the camera, I can see that he stopped, and I just kept driving on down the road. Little did I know we were about to have some fun. So I kept going, and then within seconds I got a phone call from him saying, hey, you need to come back because I'm stuck. And I'm like, what do you mean you're stuck? You're behind me. And then I looked back in my rearview mirror and I didn't see him. So I'm confused. I'm like, this dude was following me. I didn't see anywhere on the road that had any obstacle that can get us stopped. So I said, all right, I'm beyond confused at this point. This road is as smooth as dirt. So I said, all right, I'll turn around and come back. I don't know where you turned off and where you got stuck, but I'll turn around and come back and see if I can meet you and figure out what was going on, because at this point I was beyond confused. So I was on the phone with him trying to get a description of where he went so I could go and meet him to figure out, well, what kind of trouble he had gotten himself into. I was able to turn around. I got enough of a sense of where he was. I didn't know exactly where he went and what he had gotten himself into, but I was able to turn around, and I knew that maybe a mile or so back in the opposite direction, I had to look off to my left, and he said he was in a mud pit that was visible from the road. So I started to drive back up, and I was going a little slower than normal because I was trying to figure out where did he turn and how did he get stuck and what he had gotten stuck in. So as I'm driving up, I see his car in the mud, in this mud pit, and I am so confused. I'm like, how did he end up here? Why is he stuck in this little hole? It looks doable. and I could see he was struggling to get out. And I was like, how did he pull this off? I mean, this was just confusing to me. So I'm like, all right.
Yeah, stay where you are. Dude, you are so stuck.
Yeah. All because I wanted to get a little dirty.
You'll be fine.
You know, it's a good thing. This was not not in the truck when I drive it.
Oh, nice.
And as I was leaving this morning, I said, you know, I should take this. Alright, so I'm attaching the soft shackle to my car. I'm attaching one to his car. And then I'm going to put the strap between us. We're not using a static strap or anything. I just had this. There is some bounce to this strap, but for the most part, I was just going to pull him back. And this strap is constructed for this. It's not one of those cheap straps that you would buy at like Harbor Freight or anything that you would use to tie down stuff. This was made for a recovery like this.
I have to double this up.
What?
I said I have to double it up. Too long.
Now, where I had parked, we did not have a lot of space. So I had to shorten the strap between the cars.
Reverse, no gas.
Okay.
Just let me pull you back.
Okay.
Alright, so easy peasy. I got him pulled out. I really didn't have much place to maneuver because where we were working is just a confined space. There were some people actually camping on the other side, and for some reason they didn't come to check and see what was going on. They were just sitting at their tent doing whatever, whether it was a barbecue or whatever. But where we were parked, we didn't have a lot of maneuverability. We were kind of stuck in this one space. Now, where this all started to go downhill is after I got him out, I got the ropes unattached and he started to make his way out. In my head, I'm like, how did you get stuck in this hole? So as you can see, I started to drive out and then I stopped. One of the probably the biggest mistakes I made that day, because I stopped, I backed up, I positioned myself, and with some bravado I said, I think I can get through this. And so I went for it. And almost immediately, as soon as I entered the water, it's as if my front just dropped into the softest mud ever. And I'm gunning the engine, I am turning the steering wheel left and right, and this car is not moving. I am properly stuck. And what sucks is all of the recovery gear is in the back of my truck. I put it away nice and clean and everything, but it's sitting in the back of the truck. I am completely surrounded at this point. I am in the middle of this puddle. And he did not have any recovery gear on him. I had all the recovery gear. So what I had to do now was to find a way to get myself into the back seat, into the back hatch of the 4Runner, drop the window and hand him the strap as well as the shackle so that he can drag me out of the water. Now I am thinking, would his truck be able to pull my Toyota 4Runner out, because his truck is a lot smaller than mine's. Mine's is a lot bigger and a lot heavier. He does have four-wheel drive, full-time all-wheel drive on his Mercedes ML230. My 4Runner has selectable all-wheel drive, so I did have it in 4-low, and I did put it in the mud crawl and all the fancy modes. I was properly stuck. I was not able to get out of this puddle. Alright, so at this point we have the ropes attached between both cars. I am in reverse. I have my window down. Mud did get into the car. And then my camera died.
When we
I cut it off right when you did that last one.
Alright guys, so both the ML and the 4Runner fell victim to this hole. That is deep. But yeah, so this is the aftermath of the 4Runner. You open the door, there's mud. None got into the car though. You want to know the good thing? Today's the first day I have dropped the rear window. First day since owning this thing.
Yeah, your car looks like it's got worse than mine.
Oh yeah, I sunk deeper. Look at my the wheels. There's mud caked into the freaking rim.
I mean, your mud is like that color. Mine was like.
Good Lord. You know, if you had gone out where I was, how the hell were we getting you out?
I mean, I have a recovery point in the front.
So now that we were both out, we decided to not test our luck any further. We avoided this mud hole, got back onto Nimblewheel Gap, I believe that's the name of the road, and then we decided to tuck our tails between our legs and head home. What was a peaceful drive home turned into a dual car recovery. I recovered him first, and then he had to come recover me. We were both covered in mud. This is what we looked like at the gas station, and then we also went to another location where we took some pictures, and then we decided to go home and call it a day and a lesson learned. On the way home, I decided to drive through this watering hole that people go to swim. I don't know if it made much of a difference, because weeks later I had to drop the skid plates, I had to spray the underbody, I had to clean under the hood of the car because there was mud everywhere. But thanks for checking out the video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you wanted to see our drive up Old Bucktown Road, please click on the link in the upper right hand corner of this video and it should take you there. But please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.